Well, hello once again, and welcome to this episode of Profit Easy One. I'm about to do another herb unboxing with some medicinal herbs in here, and I'm gonna, as I pull them out, I'll let you know what they're for. Let you know, hey, I'm here to help you. If you need something, I'll have my PayPal and my regular address will be in the description below. Right now, I'm going to just get started with this because there's a few herbs that I want to get in the mail to somebody today. I told them they should be out today, so I want to go get them out. So let's see. Let's go. Just a few things here because then I do need to run to the post office. Now, this is one of the things that I'm getting ready to mail. Arnica. I've mentioned it before in another video. Now, it's Arnica Montana. The reason I have it, and I showed this in a video, but let me show it to you again. That's what I have in this Old Spice jar. And I use it. I don't use it every day. I use it probably at least once a week. It's a very strong tasting, not a very good tasting herb. Let me put it that way. But what it does, it's a heavy metal chelator. So, you know, if you're getting heavy metals, which I have had heavy metal poisoning, arsenic, copper, and chromium, and this works as a chelator. So it helps to get those heavy metals out of your body. And with all these chemtrails that they're spraying all the time, with these heavy metals in it, that's why I use this on occasion. Now, one time, because I had those heavy metal poisonings, I use it as a chelator. Now I still do, but I had to use it a lot then because my body was full of those poisons and I had to get them out. And I just want to say something about those heavy metal poisons, like that you might be getting from these sprays that they're putting up. See, heavy metals, they'll get into your body and they'll start doing things, but you won't even notice what's going on. And your immune system, as far as I know, it doesn't really have ways of killing, because you can't kill it. It's dead. It's a mineral. You know, it's these are molecules that are poisoning you. But what happens is when you have these molecules, they have certain shapes to them. Let's say they have carbon and hydrogen and oxygen in them. And what happens is they will bind to certain things in your body. They might bind in your liver. They might bind in your bones, different things like that. And what happens is, when you take the proper compounds, like a lot of sulfur compounds, like from garlic and beans, and also what's in arnica, the compounds in that will merge with those other compounds, maybe cause something to come off of them, but by doing that, it makes it to where your body can excrete them. Okay, it's similar to when, like with the arsenic poisoning, you can get what's called organic arsenic poisoning or inorganic arsenic poisoning. And with one of them, what that means is you got the arsenic straight out of the ground and you've ingested it or got it to your skin, as I did. And the other is when, let's say, a fish has eaten something with arsenic and then you eat that fish. Now, see, that's not as deadly because it's metabolized through their liver. And I could go on with a whole lot more about that. I'm not going to right now. Like I said, I want to get through this, get this order, and some other things I got to get out in the mail. Now, what Arnica really, what most people know it for and use it for. In fact, there's a girl I'd like to interview. She's got some really great prep ideas. She's shown me some really incredible things, but this is her favorite herb. Man, did she ever have stuff to say about it. Maybe I'll get her on sometime. But what is really, like I said, noted for mostly is for bruising and skin eruptions. So if you have bruises, this will definitely help get rid of that. In fact, if this girl gives her testimony, wow, yeah, she'll tell you about that. There's a few other herbs that'll do that too, but Arnica is a real good one for it. Now, this also is good for osteoarthritis, stiffness. It actually has compounds in it that work just like ibuprofen. So that's part of the reason it helps with those. Works just like ibuprofen. Let me see. So now I do want to say, well, they claim that it also can kill or does kill cancer cells. Now, if you're taking blood thinners, I'm gonna give you some cautions. If you're taking blood thinners, you don't want to take this. If you're pregnant, I wouldn't recommend you take this. Uh, and unless you do have heavy metals in you, I wouldn't recommend you take large amounts every day, like I had to do for quite some time. And of course, then I went through other chelation treatments too. But yeah, it's not gonna kill you, but too much of it, if you're having a whole lot of it, my understanding is that it can affect your liver. But the effect, if you're doing it just in medicinal dosages, you're going to be fine. If you go start taking a whole lot of it for a whole long time, which I did have to take it a lot for a long time. But hey, for me, it didn't cause me any problems, but it helped get rid of those heavy metals from my body. All right, let's see. I really want to get to the things. Well, I just want to get to a few things so I can get out here and mail this out. Now, I ordered a bunch more teaspoons. These are the ones that I prefer because I don't want to really open this here. I'll get one that I use all the time. And I'll show you why I prefer these. Yeah, as you can tell, this one's well worn. This is what they look like new. This is one I've been using for quite a few years now. But what I like about these, you can take, say, even a bag this size, not the smaller bags, but the bags this size or the larger bags, and you can take this, you open the bag, just open this up, put it in there, and you fill this bottom up. I like to have it heaping a little, push it down some. Then you just close it up. Like I say, I like to try to pack this in a little. I don't want it falling all out. A little bit may come out. It's going to get in your cup. It's not going to kill you. But, and the reason, one of the other reasons I like this is because if you do add some honey or something else to it, then you can also use this to stir. Whereas, see, they sent me the wrong thing, and I ordered quite a few of these. I should have been more specific, and I wasn't dealing with the person I normally deal with. They sent me these type mesh T-balls. Now, I used to use these a lot in the past, and these are okay too. These are pretty good. You got a little clip here. Oops, keep getting out of camera. So you open this clip here. This opens up. It's I believe it's a little bigger. Yeah, it'll hold a little bit more than this will. So basically what you do is you just fill up one side and you close it, relatch it, and you put it down. I generally used to leave this hanging. It's got a little hanger up here. See the hanger on the chain? So what I used to do was leave it hanging on my pot inside the water. But like I say, be careful. Most of these herbs you don't want to boil. I mean, some of them you don't. Most of them you really don't. Some you have to, because especially if they're roots or barks, they have to be boiled for a long time in order to get the medicinal compounds out of them. So anyway, now I got a whole bunch of these T-balls. They'll be going on sale. I'm down to only 2 of these left. Yeah, I'm not going to bother shipping these back to get them exchanged. That would be too costly for me. All right, let's see. Here's one. This is Kava Kava. This comes from a tree in Indonesia. Let's see, where did this come from here? Yeah, this came from Fiji. Like I said, I get these herbs from all over the world. This Arnica came from France. But the Kava Kava is a serious muscle relaxant. Oh, yeah. Man, with all the problems that I had from the arsenic poison, it came in handy a lot of times. I remember, I was totally broke. I was too disabled to do any kind of work, but I was broke too. And a guy came, he said, well, Raul, I need somebody to go just cut a bunch of vines off some fencing. And I said, well, that sounds like something I can probably do. But I knew I was in such bad shape and in so much pain. I told the guy, I said, look, I can only guarantee you 4 hours. He said, it's either 8 hours or nothing. I said, well, I'll see what I can do. So I took some Kava Kava with me when I went to work. and I took some wild lettuce, the pain reliever, which I don't believe is in this shipment. I have spoken about it before. And I wasn't too long into it, but before, because all I had to do really was just cut the vines with little cutters and pull them out, but my hands couldn't take it. And I got so swollen here. Oh man, you should have seen how swollen my hands were. And they were just in so much pain. And I probably at that time, I'd only been there, I don't know if it was even a couple of hours. But I told the guy I was working for, I said, look, man, I showed him my hands and how swollen they were. And he was like, ooh. And I said, look, I told you I'd give you a whole day. I'm going to try to do that. But I have some herbs with me that I need to take, and hopefully that'll take care of it. Sure enough, I took the Kava Kava, some wild lettuce. The swelling went way down. I went back and I did finish working that day, although I hurt for days afterwards. You know, we're not going to get into the arsenic a whole lot right now. One of these days, maybe I'll do a really good video on that to let you know. Okay. Actually, I wanted to get to the herbs. Oh, I have what I need to send him. So I'm going to cut this video off in a few minutes, I think, because I do want to get them out so it'll get in the mail today. This is another one. What did I pull up here? Feverfew. Medical research shown that there ain't nothing better for migraine headaches. And the people who I've sold this to, a few that I can think of that had serious migraines for years, once they took that a couple of times, they didn't have migraines anymore. Now, I can't explain all of that. I do know that when I heard the medical research that the doctors were saying it actually worked even better than these, like, kind of like the epinephrine pins or something they give you where you give yourself a shot with them. So, yep, if you got migraine headaches, that's what you want. I mean, I have other things for headaches, but for migraine headaches, you want that feverfew. All right. Yeah. Oh, I got several lung herbs coming up here. Oh, boy, what else do I got? Let's see. Well, here's some more Kava Kava. Oh, and by the way, let's get back to the Kava Kava. It has a couple of sedatives in it, too. So it will definitely relax you. I remember when I had the arsenic poisoning, my whole body was in pain all the time. And I remember making a cup of Kava Kava. It was really weird. I won't explain it, but watching it in the cup and how the compounds were coming out of it, that's a long story, though. But I drank the cup, and I was sitting in this recliner, and I could actually feel my feet start relaxing and my ankles. And it was like it slowly crept up my legs, to my knees, to my thighs, and then my whole body. And it was like, oh, man, I was just sunk into that chair. And I was going to finally be able to fall asleep, because it's not easy when you're in a lot of pain. And darn, if just as I was about to fall asleep, I need to go to the bathroom. I said, oh, no, I'm not going to get up. I'm going to hold it. Anyway, I had to go to the bathroom, and then it wasn't as good. Yeah, but it's a serious muscle relaxer. And in Indonesia, they actually make an intoxicating drink out of it. They make a liquor. Now, that's another one that can be a little bit rough on your liver. But like I said, it's not going to kill you in real large dosages. Hey, well, they make alcoholic beverages over there all the time, and they drink this all the time over there. All right, let me see. You know what, folks, before I get into all this, because this is going to take me a little more time, I do want to take these things that I already have that I got to get out in the mail and some other things I need to ship. And I'm going to come back and finish this video a little bit later. And I'm also uploading a couple of more. One you might really enjoy. It'll be called something like, hey, come take a walk with me. Right? I want to take you on a little tour of some of the walks and bicycle rides and jaunts in the woods that I've done around here, and some of the animals that I've run into, such as alligators and bears, and some of the really cool plants I've run into. But I think that'll be an enjoyable video for you to watch. All right, so I'm going to temporarily stop this. I'll be back. It'll be probably a couple hours before I get back, because I got to finish all this. But I'll get this video out to you, and watch the rest of it. Might be something here can help you, folks. And if you haven't seen through my playlist on medicinal herbs, You really should. And if you need advice on anything, then you can contact me here through the comments, or my email address will be in here. If you can get with me either way with that, I'll be glad to help you. Well, folks, it's been more than a few hours, but I'm back. And we're going to continue with this unboxing now. Let's see. All right, let's start here with mullein. Yeah, mullein leaf. Great lung herb. As I've mentioned before, this particular herb has been known to cure tuberculosis. So if it's cured tuberculosis, which is a lung disease, yep, you think it should be pretty good for your lungs. Yeah. And it's also good for your sinuses and your lymph system. So it's a really good herb. And that's in one of my blends of lung teas, which I probably do have some of that. We'll go into it briefly here, but I'm not going to cover it thoroughly because I have in other videos. You're going to want to see some of those that I'm going to mention that to cover these things more thoroughly, things that you really need to get, especially right now with this coronavirus still out there. This thing it's not even close to halfway done. There's going to be millions of deaths around the world, and you don't have to be one of them, neither do your relatives. All right, so stay with this video, folks. So we got that mullein. Now, another good lung herb, actually. This is Lobelia. Now, I knew this girl who sold herbs for, I guess at the time, I think it was about 12 years. And I asked her what was her favorite herb. And she said Lobelia. And I thought, now, I knew something about it, knew it was good for your lungs. But, and I said, wow, that's your favorite? And she'd been selling herbs for, like I said, about 12 years at the time. She said, yeah. And so I asked her why. And she told me how she'd had some kind of a lung disease that the doctors had been treating for years and it didn't get any better. She used Lobelia and it cured it. And that's probably why she got into the herb business. In fact, that's why I got into it, because what they did for me. And like I mentioned about the guy that owns the herb farm in Brazil, it's why he got into it, because the herb saved his life too. All right, what else I got here? Oh, licorice root. This is really good. I have some old licorice in the kitchen I've been using lately. It was in my old expired kit. I tell you, it's so old, it hardly has any flavor to it. But, oh no, I'm sorry, that wasn't licorice. That's cinnamon sticks, which I think I have in this order. I'm not sure. But this licorice root, oh yeah, I got a lot to say about that. Now, I have a blend of herbs that's for your throat. But I got to admit, it's nasty tasting. And I've known a lot of musicians in my life. And in the Keys, there were several who sang a lot. And their throat would get hoarse. You know, these were good friends of mine. I mean, some of them were very close. In fact, I have a CD from at least one of them here. And I have some other CDs. And, you know, I want to show you this because I've been wanting to bring this up in videos. And I'm looking at them now. Well, here, let me get this out of the way. Then I can put them back away. I'm trying to get this table cleared up. I've had so much paperwork on and off this table lately, and now I got all these herbs come in. But I've mentioned this before, how there was a guy who had a bunch of broken ribs that I met at Cabbage Patch. It's probably in my medical herb list somewhere. And I got rid of his pain. So he put this guy in touch with me. I think he's from Daytona or something. And he ended up getting some herbs from me. Here's what did he say? Herb man, live forever. Richard A. I think it's Rankin. Yeah, Richard A. Rankin. You see that? This guy appreciated what I did for him with the herbs. Yep, and then he even gave me 2 of his CDs. And here's another one. This is someone that I tried to line up Mark Rouse with, and this guy, boy, I'll tell you that story some other time. What a testimony he's got. But he got herbs from me many years ago. Here's what he wrote. Here, let me read it first. Herb man, you have the goods, bro. Thanks. Ron LaSalle. And this whole CD that he's got here, this is a Christian CD. Yeah, and he told me about every song in there, why he wrote it, what was the meanings behind them. Yeah, great guy. A guy who at one time was not only homeless, he didn't even own a pair of shoes. So he started writing poems to God. And somebody saw him and hooked him up with some people in Nashville, and people were buying his poems that he wrote to God, these prayers, and turning them into music, which he thought was great. And then eventually he made a lot of money, he did his own recordings, great musician. Wow. But anyway, he passed away. I was really sorry to hear that. I left some nice comments for his family, letting them know how good a guy I thought he was. Yeah, I got to spend about 10 days with the guy. He'd always told me, if you're ever in Nashville, man, come on by. You got a place. Anyway, what do we got now? All right, I'm going to make some room here because we got a bunch of, we'll go ahead and get into some tinctures now, but let me just make a little room. All right, got the tinctures out. First off, we got a couple bottles of bilberry. Now, bilberry. I'm going to repeat some things that were in other videos, but maybe I'll tell you some new stuff too. Bilberry. My mentor, before he died, he changed his mind and said that he believed that everybody should take bilberry every day. Now, bilberry is a 20 times better antioxidant than ACE or zinc. And I've watched many, I think it was the University of Oregon or Washington, one of those two, some university from up there, every morning real early on like channel 1879, used to have all their stuff about research about the eyes. And of course, they tried carrots, and A and C and E and zinc, and none of those really were showing effect. This right here, 20 times better antioxidant. And that's part of the reason that it works, and it improves your vision. Now, what it's really good for, well, the British used to make their pilots drink a cup of bilberry tea before flying on bombing runs, especially because they did them at night, and it improves your night vision that much. I had a guy, local guy here, who he couldn't drive at night, he said, because of his night vision. So he got a bag of it, a small bag of the herbs. And man, when I saw him a few days later, he said it was incredible. He said he could drive at night now. I said, wow, man, that's surprising. I mean, I know that it works. I've used it myself a lot, but this guy could really tell the difference. And then when he was running out, he asked me to get more, and at the time I didn't have it. When I finally got it, which took a long time, because I was temporarily sort of out of the business, I really couldn't afford to. And anyway, he got mad at me because I didn't have it. He got so mad. And when I finally got it, he was still so mad, he refused to get it. Yeah, that's his tough luck. Yeah. All right. But it also, it helps control blood sugar. I mean, this is a great herb, bilberry is. Helps control blood sugar, and that's why it's in my diabetic blend. Yeah, it deals with your insulin. It helps with inflammation. It helps with stress and anxiety. And I think that is partially because it does a lot of good things for your bloodstream, too. And we'll get into that in another video with some of the compounds that are in there, and they're helpful for your heart and your bloodstream. So that's why it would help with those things. Now, cataracts, yes, very good for cataracts. If you have cataracts, you need to be taking this. And the other thing is, oh shoot, what the heck you call that? Glaucoma. Now, I knew that it had been known to cure glaucoma. So I helped a friend of mine here in town. And within 30 days, he didn't have glaucoma anymore. And his doctors were like, wow, those eye drops work? He said, man, I stopped taking them a month ago because they weren't doing anything but costing him money every month, and they're very expensive, those eye drops. They just cover the symptoms. They don't cure the problem. This stuff, been known, and it did it for a friend of mine. Blew his doctor's minds, and unfortunately, he did like most people. I said, well, did you tell the doctors how did it happen? He goes, nah. I said, oh, man, I wish you'd had him get in touch with me. All right, now, let's get on to this. Dandelion root, one of my top favorite herbs, because it helped save my life, is why. That's one of the reasons. But I've also seen what it's done to help so many other people. Yeah, even now. Yeah, and I just shipped something out yesterday. It's a very big seller because it is so beneficial. And it's a diuretic, but it's the only diuretic I know of that doesn't deplete your body of potassium. It actually gives you more potassium. And your kidneys need potassium to function properly, and your heart needs potassium. Uh, so it's a really good herb. Now, what herb were we talking about? I'm sorry here, folks. Oh, yeah, dandelion. Yeah, so for your kidneys, excellent. For your liver, quite helpful. For anemia, yes, very helpful for that because of what it does with your kidneys and your liver. All right, let me see. So that's all we're going to say about that, because I also have, for a while I couldn't get this. I got a couple bottles of Eyebright. Now, the reason I couldn't get it at one time because we went and invaded Afghanistan, and this was coming from Afghanistan. So at the time, I bought out every bit that I could get, because when I lived in the Keys, that was either my biggest seller or tied for my biggest seller, because it helped people's vision so much. And they didn't call it Eyebright for nothing. That's the actual name of the herb. Now think about it. Why would they call it Eyebright? So definitely, yeah, it helps with cataracts again. Helps with styes if you have styes in your eyes. Oh, and it has been known to cure nearsightedness. Now, I gave this to my dad years ago when he was 78 years old, and they were going to increase his prescriptions. I said, Dad, try taking this. They ended up decreasing his prescriptions. I mentioned the story about Otis's friend, Ozzy, and how by giving him a blend of herbs that had that herb in it, they reduced one side one and the other side two when it was supposed to be going up. So, yep, a really good herb. Oh, what else do I have for tinctures here? Oh, yeah. And this time I am keeping one of these. I've been trying to get one for me. For the longest time, I couldn't get it. I kept having to wait. It delayed shipments. I was getting it in the powdered form, but I prefer it in the tincture. This here is according to a highly respected Chinese herbalist, and according to my mentor, and from what I've seen it do, is the cure, not the symptom cover, the cure for Parkinson's disease. People, if you have Parkinson's disease or anything that causes you shaking and tremors, and believe me, I had it so bad with the arsenic poisoning, and I had so much nerve damage that the medical profession, when they were running tests, they couldn't believe it. They thought the machinery was bad. They bring in more machinery. They test everything. The arsenic caused so much between that and the chromium and the copper. Wow. All heavy metals. That's really going to disrupt probably your electrical processes in your body and everything. So my nerves were just shot out. And that's what brought me back. In fact, one of my neurologists, when he saw what this herb was doing for me, he said, man, how'd you learn all this stuff? And I told him, and a big part of it, who I give credit to, was my mentor, because all the research he's done for universities and pharmacology, whatever you call them, them people, and so knowledgeable. But anyway, let's get back to the rest of these. We'll get this video over with. Let me make room once again, and we're going to get into some blends of herbs, and especially one that I can't more strongly recommend to anybody right now. So like I said, stay tuned with this. We're going to try to keep this short. I just want to get all these where it's more convenient. I have a place to put them as I go through them. And by the way, I'm drinking some herbs right here. Instead of coffee, I'm having some of my energy tea. And I haven't had this one that I'm going to stress to you here in about, it seems like 5 to 7 days. So I will be having that later. Anyway, we'll get into that later. But yeah, there's some energy tea. And I threw in I wanted to throw in another herb, echinacea, but as I was looking for it, I ran into the golden seal I had. There wasn't a lot left, so I threw that in instead. Tastes pretty good, and it's very good for me. All right, so let me make some room here, and I'll get right back with you. Okay, I just had to move everything over. Like I said, now we'll go through some blended teas. Now, this is one here that, yeah, let me see. One of the herbs that comes in my Kung Flu kits. And maybe we'll talk about those at the end of this, because you need this for this virus. Yep. At least you need this, if nothing else. If your lungs are fine, maybe you don't need this. But me, this is what I took a few days ago. I missed this for over a week, but a few days ago I did take a cup of this. Yeah, what a difference it made to me. I couldn't believe it. But we'll get into that, because what I did, this is the Breath of Life tea. This is made for deep congestion. And this is why I put it in the kit with a blend of herbs that'll get rid of the flu and or prevent you from even getting it. It's going to help you to get rid of it. You'll have to see my videos on that, where I get into detail on how those work. I'm not going to do that with every video where I bring these up. And I do cover this Breath of Life very good. It's got at least 7, let me see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe 8 herbs. In fact, one of them is the licorice root that I showed you earlier. Oh, shoot, did we get into that? I don't think we did. What the heck happened? Anyway, I do have some licorice root in this order, so let's talk about that real quick. That's what I recommended to Smiley from Biblical Ways News, because he had a sore throat, and he's way over in England, and it takes a couple weeks for me to ship things over there, and he's got to pay some kind of import fees and all. At least he thought so. I don't know, and neither did he, just how that works. But licorice, really good for your throat. I was telling you about the musicians in the Keys and how the throat tea they use, the taste was just, it's not very good. Even when you sweeten it, it's bad tasting. So I recommended get licorice root instead, because it is so soothing to your throat. Now, if you're a diabetic, you probably shouldn't be eating licorice unless your sugar's low, because, licorice is super high in sugar. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot more I could say about it. It's got all these oils in it that are very good. It's, wow. I'm not going to go into more detail now. Maybe we will some other time. And here with these herbs, like I said, these blends, I'm not going to go into big detail, I don't think, because most of these I've already covered. So this one, like I say, the Breath of Life, I keep selling out. Every time I'm getting it, I'm selling out. This time I ordered 2, 4, 6 bags of it, because half the times by the time I get them, people have already called and said, hey, save one for me, save one for me. So, yeah, and that's one that if you have lung conditions, that's like the number 3 killer in the United States. You should try this. People, it is my most, it's the herb that I get the most good comments about from others. When they make comments about it or call me, how good that it's working. And most of the time, a good majority of them order at least one other bag of it. So you know that it's working, folks. I know one girl now, she's had her bag for a long time. She used it initially for 3 or 4 days. It cleared up her congestion. Just about every time she goes to use it. Now she's had this for, wow, over a year. It's the girl that I baptized in one of my videos. And she'd gotten it before that. So just when she has the problems again, she'll drink a couple of cups, and she'll usually call me just to let me know she's having a cup of it, and so we can talk a little bit. All right, but now, brain tea. Brain tea. Someone kidded me the other day on the phone that I needed some, or something like that. I go, oh yeah, maybe. But I do have ginkgo in my blends I'm using, and some blessed thistle, which both help your brain. And actually, this tea that I'm drinking now has some things in it that help your brain. So, yeah, this got some good stuff in it. You know what? Maybe I'll set this aside, and we'll go into more detail after we get through these, because I don't have a whole lot. Now, here's the one, though. Big time. This is what everybody needs. This is for the flu. I can't stress it enough. I wish somebody set me up to do some lab tests to show y'all. I've already seen what it can do, and I've just known from other people's experiences. And yeah, this is what you need for the flu. Now, I'm not going to cover it all here. I would love to again, but I have it on another video because I go into detail on every one of the herbs that's in here and what they do for you and why that they work. Yeah, there ain't a better thing on the planet than this if you have the flu, or as a prophylactic to prevent you from getting the flu. Because one of the herbs in here alone, when tested, showed you 58% less likely to catch the virus. If you went in a room with people full of it and you weren't taking this, you're generally going to catch the virus. If you're taking this, you're 58, just one of the herbs that's in it, 58% less likely. This has like 11 herbs in it. All of them work wonders for you, and especially for this particular virus and the way that it works. There ain't a better thing on the planet than this. Come on, WHO. Come on, Johns Hopkins University. Come on, you people. Say you're looking for the cure. Man, they say if they find something, a vaccine that's 60 to 70% effective, they'll take it. This thing here is over 70% effective and totally safe. Doesn't have mercury in it and all those other. In fact, everything that I have, by the way, is totally organic. No pesticides, fertilizers. I mean, if it is fertilizers, it's organic. Everything's organic. All right. Oh, this is what I'm drinking now. Energy tea. Yeah. You know what? Maybe we'll get into that too. Where'd I put that other one? Uh-oh. Shoot. I'll put this back here for now. Yeah, maybe we'll cover that better. Ooh. This is the other one that was tied with eyebright from my biggest seller in the Keys. Female Balance. And I haven't let people know about it or run into many people. Actually, I did sell some, and there's a woman at this one church. She still wants some, but that church has been closed down because it meets in a school. But Female Balance. Man, if you're going through the hormonal changes in your life, your husband needs to buy this for you. Yeah, yeah. If you don't get it for yourself, your husband or your friend, somebody ought to get it for you because it's going to take care of you and it's going to control the night sweats. Well, like I said, maybe we'll get back into that and this one too. Man, it's going to take longer time, but we'll put this Male Magic. Wow. I got a lot of stories about this one. I had a guide set up during Bike Week. And at Bike Week or other events, I would always give people out flyers that they could take back home with them. And actually, that was my biggest seller because these people, a lot of times, maybe they were skeptical. They would buy something, and they're mostly from out of state coming down here for Bike Week, and they didn't get to try it till they get back home. And then next thing you know, they'd be calling me, "Hey, man, that stuff really worked. Hey, can you send me 2 more bags of that? And what do you have for this? Or what about for that?" So these flyers were big sellers for me. But there was a black guy from North Carolina who'd ordered this Male Magic, and he's one of the ones that got back with me. He said, "Woo," because it helped spike up his love life. And his wife was right there with him when he got it. She was happy too. Like I said, he ordered 2 more bags of that and some other stuff. And then I had a friend of mine, Mike, in the Keys. He said he and his girlfriend drank it. And now this is made more for males, but there are things in there that I guess will affect females. And he said that was some of the best sex they'd ever had. So, yeah. Now here's one. And like I said, maybe we'll get into those a little bit deeper. This was my mom's favorite. Nature's. She would use this not that often. I don't know how often she used it. I know a couple times a year, at least once a year, she was getting it from me because she'd get a little bit constipated. And what this will do, this is, like it says here, a natural, gentle colon cleanser. And there's a lot of herbs in here. I haven't covered this in depth in another video. So let me set that aside too. And we'll cover that better for you. There's lung tea. Yeah, I definitely recommend this too. If I was out of the cold comfort, I mean the breath of life tea to give you in the kits, the Kung Flu kits, I would put the lung tea in there. And I'm still, for me, it's a toss up. And I use the lung tea myself on occasion. But this lung tea, I have a separate video that covers it, so I won't cover it here. But it's got so many great lung herbs in there. Let me see, one, two, including the mullein that I already talked about here, that's been known to cure TB. Pleurisy, which really helps with especially certain lung diseases where you get swelling around the lungs. Pleurisy root. Lobelia, that I already mentioned here, another great lung herb. Coltsfoot, another great lung herb. Peppermint, which is also great for your lungs and your sinuses. So this is a good one too. Yeah, it helps to strengthen your lungs, especially with this virus, because it kills people through the lungs. All right. Now, I want to talk about this. There's the licorice that knocked off when I was trying to make room. Yeah, that was the licorice root I was talking about. I like to take this and just chew on a little bit of it. Yeah, man. It's really sweet, lasts a long time, really nice flavor. And that's real licorice. You know, nowadays you can't, all the licorice candies, licorice everything is imitation stuff. It's too bad they don't make it from the real stuff because it is so good for you. Now, let's talk about the Kung Flu kits. Well, I want to get more deeper on some other things too, some special offer kind of things I want to make. This is the one I was talking about that gets rid of the flu. This is the one for your lungs. Now, these have already been put in individual tea bags for your convenience. Yep. And in order to save you from having to buy large amounts that you won't even use up. So these will be individual kits. I've mentioned before about 1 and 2 person kits. The 2-person kit's a much better deal, even if you're just one person. Because here's the thing. This particular herb right here, I did so much research because people kept asking me, how often should they take it? Now, I know if you get the flu, you take it twice a day, 2 cups of tea each day, and generally it's gone by the 3rd day. Yeah, the longest I've ever seen it take was 3 days, and that was me when my immune system was weakened by the arsenic with the SARS virus back in 2003. Yet, for me, it only lasted 3 days, and the other people in the household were sick a week before I got there and a week after. So people, I recommend this, especially if you're in the healthcare profession, you're having to be around where you know the virus is. You should be drinking a cup of this every 5 days, and it's going to reduce your chance of even getting the flu. It's going to keep your immune system on red alert. So, and then this is the one that I was talking about for the lungs. Like I said, I have separate videos that cover both of these. But in the kit, I want to be more generous. I want to give you more than what I said before, because I want people, especially, to have more of this. Especially if you're in a medical profession or anything. I should make a special medical profession kit up. Because like I said, you should be drinking a cup of this every 5 days. But I would want you to still have some, which you would need, I would recommend at least 6 bags to have left if you should catch the virus. So I'm debating. You know what? Give me a minute to think about this. And give me just a minute with this. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. $20 and you get 20 bags. When you contact me, you let me know what you want. If you need more of the lung herbs, which if you had the virus, I would recommend 2 cups of this a day and 1 of this. One of these in the morning, 1 of these in the afternoon, another one of these at night. Flu will be gone in 2 days, 3 tops. That's 99% of the time. And if not, at least it's going to lessen the duration and the severity of the virus. Please see my videos covering the cold comfort and the lung teas that I have. Please check those out and get you some of these herbs. So it'll be $20 for 20 bags. I'll ship them anywhere in the United States for that. And you can let me know how many of each you want. If you want all 20 to be for the flu, that's great. And that way you could, if you took one every 5 days, man, that would last you a long time. That's 100 days worth. That'll help carry you through a long time of not getting the virus. So that's my deal with that. And I want to make another offer too. I'd already been considering this. If you're interested in any of these herbs on an individual basis, and you're skeptical about buying a whole bag or something, I will send you a tea bag, like these, a tea bag, with that herb for you to try it out. All right? Because keep in mind, some of these herbs, they work with one dose. Some of them, depending if you have a serious disease or problem, one dose isn't going to get it. But anyway, we can talk about all that. If you have any questions, like I said, I will put my email down below and my mailing address. PayPal, you can do through my email. These bags, for all the small bags, they're $7 a piece. The tinctures, they're $30 a piece, and I include shipping with that. Now, if you're getting extra things, then I'll often give you an automatic discount on something because the shipping doesn't go up that much more. Okay, so like I said, you can contact me in the comments or email. But folks, either get you the Kung Flu kit, or if nothing else, the cold comfort to knock the flu out. Get the kit and Kung Flu it. All right. Catch you on the next one. If you haven't seen, if you're not subscribed, you should be. And if you're interested in more on medicinal herbs, you should definitely see my medicinal herbs playlist. I'll bring you more. What I'm going to do now, since this has already gone so long, these herbs, these blends that I've set aside, that I said we'll get into in more detail, let's save that for another short video so this doesn't carry on too long. And it'll give you something to look forward to, okay, if you're interested in any of those. And that's going to be the male magic, the female balance, very important, the energy, which is what about 80% of this is in my cup that I'm drinking right now. And we're going to talk about the nature's tea too. And we're going to talk about all the herbs that are in them and how each of them work for you individually and how that gives you a very nice end result. You know, you get a synergy oftentimes from certain herbs. Like one of the herbs I didn't mention, but it's in this brain tea, is Gingko Biloba. Now, when you take that you have to be careful sometimes taking it with certain other herbs because it will, or pharmaceuticals, because it will increase the potency of them. But it's a great herb for your brain and for other things, which, like I said, we'll get into when we get into that. So if you like what you heard here, hey, subscribe or at least go see my playlist. And really, what's even more important is see my videos dealing with the Word of God. And I'll be having plenty more of those coming. Oh, yeah. All right, folks. Catch you on the rebound. Hey, read your Bible, too. Pray and repent from your sins. Hey, and if you're sick or don't want to get sick, use God's medicine, not that other guy's. Okay? All right.